Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans! I'm Kelly One Shot, and this is the Post Crisis Podcast. And today, we're going to talk about Batman 73 from DC Comics, written by Tom King, with artwork by Mikhail Hannon. Okay, so this story actually takes place directly after Batman and Bane fought inside of Wayne Manor after Batman woke up from the nightmares, and we actually learned that Bane defeats Batman in that fight. He breaks him, body, soul, and mind. And in this issue, we actually started off in the desert where we see Thomas Wayne in his Batman suit, but he kind of has like the nightmare gear from the Justice League movie / the Rules of Engagement story that we saw in this Tom King run that Bruce Wayne was wearing. But either way, Thomas Wayne is on a horse in the desert. I don't know if the horse has a name or not, and he has Bruce draped over the back of the horse unconscious, and they're dragging a coffin behind them. And Thomas Wayne is actually singing several songs throughout this. I believe he's singing Home on the Range ultimately, and this is the Fall of the Fallen Part 4. We kind of just see Thomas Wayne going through the desert. He's got this coffin, he's got Bruce, he's got this horse. He's making his way towards something, and he sleeps at night, and then he's woken up by these assassins, 5 of them, who are here to kill him in the middle of the desert, and they are the Death in the Desert. They are Ra's al Ghul's, one of his many various groups that he's clearly sending after Thomas Wayne to stop him. And Thomas is like, 5 of you? You think that's enough? And one of the assassins says, "You are not Batman." Thomas says, "I am now." As he smiles, he's singing Home on the Range, and he's kind of just making light work, and the artwork is actually really great in this story. I like the paneling. Mikhail Hannon always does a really great job, and it's kind of funny how Thomas Wayne is just beating them down and singing Home on the Range, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of out there, but Tom King has kind of done that a lot, these little ditties that he's added in various issues that he's written of Batman, and even in Heroes in Crisis as well. So it's kind of cool that that's been happening all throughout his run, and that's kind of like what's happening for the bulk of this. Thomas is just dragging the coffin through the desert. He has another fire at night where Bruce finally eventually wakes up, and he's like, Bane! He's freaked out because he's still living in that moment, and Thomas is trying to talk him down, and he's like, it's all right, you've been through something, and you're coming out of something, and you're gonna be scared, but just remember what I taught you. And Bruce actually gets pissed when he sees Thomas, because he's like, wait, what the heck, man? You were fighting with Bane. You helped knock Alfred down, and you helped kidnap me. What the hell's going on here? The two actually hug briefly, too, after they briefly fight here, and Thomas says that your father's got you. Then as they're kind of just walking through the desert here, and Bruce is kind of coming out of the anesthesia, and he's able to walk here. Thomas tells him that he should get on the horse and ride, and he lets him know that they're about a few hundred miles outside of Kadaim, and Bruce is like, Kadaim? And Thomas is like, yo man, you're the world's greatest detective. When the drugs are gone, you'll understand. Bruce asks about the coffin, and he goes, yeah, again, you will understand that too eventually. And Bruce asks Thomas if this is a dream, and he goes, yes, son, but it's not yours. As he kind of smiles, they then have another dinner, and they talk more about this. They again talk about how he helped Bane beat up Alfred and kidnap him, and you stood by him as he beat into him, and he kind of watched Thomas just be there. And Thomas is like, yo, do you want to hit me? And Bruce is like, yeah, and he's like, well, good. Again, they kind of just wake up again at night, and several assassins try to take out Bruce and Thomas here, and Thomas is the one to wake up first and already have him dealt with before Bruce wakes up. He's singing Home on the Range again. I really don't know what that's about. That's clearly Thomas Wayne's song, and Bruce now is like, yo, that's the Death of the Desert. Those are Ra's al Ghul's personal guard. Why didn't I hear them? And Thomas is like, they're good. And Bruce is like, I'm good. And Thomas is like, are you, bro? And Bruce then realizes that since they're in and near Kadaim, that there's a pit. There's been rumors of a Lazarus pit that's in this area, and the only reason that Ra's al Ghul would use the Death of the Desert is to prevent him from getting there, using it to revive. And then he instantly realizes who's inside of the coffin, and Thomas laughs and he's like, I knew you'd know. I'm proud of you, son. And Bruce is like, yo, my mother's inside of the coffin. And Thomas then tells him that you and I, we've come a long way, and we've bled and we've burned. We've earned some rest and some right to go home. But when we do, we're going as a family. So Thomas plans on using a Lazarus pit to resurrect a long dead Martha Wayne in some attempt to bring back his family and live out this life, even though he's from the Flashpoint timeline. So he's a different Thomas who had different things happening to him. So is he going to bring back the Martha from our universe, and our timeline rather, or is he going to bring back the one from his? So that's interesting because she became the Joker. Bruce then kind of asks, like, where is it? Because if they're going to do this, he needs to be prepared. So he puts on the cowl of Batman, which is inside of the horse, because Thomas brought it with him because he does want to work with his son here ultimately. And Bruce knows that he kind of just has to, like, go along with this because this is what he woke up into, and he just has to deal with it as he goes, as he tries to learn further about his father and his motivations here. And Bruce then says that he remembers the pearl and the blood, and he thought he would never see his parents again, and he said that it was too difficult, so he forsaken his life and he surrendered himself to a vow. And now he's wondering what it was worth and where did that vow lead him. And then Thomas tells him, you made your choices, saved who you could. You were a good man, son, and I'm proud of you. And now it's time for the resurrection and the final end of all your damn pain. Because Thomas wants to give Bruce his family back. And that's what's going on here in this Tom King run. Apparently that's Thomas Wayne's entire motivation. So we're going to find out more as we trudge through the desert. In the next few issues, there is only a few more issues. I want to say 12 issues. We're going to go up to 85 of this Tom King run, and then we're going to switch over to another writer, but Tom King is going to continue his run essentially with a 12-part series, Batman, Catwoman, that we did just find out there was a kind of a pullback from that picture, and it said, she's back, and we see Batman and Catwoman inside of the blade of the Phantasm from Batman the Phantasm from the animated series movie there. And so I'm really excited that she's kind of joining the comic fold, because we got the Arkham Knight in comics now, we got the Phantasm. I'm waiting for like Red X to join. I kind of said on Twitter, I was like, yo, wouldn't it be cool or whatever if Rick Grayson was just like pushed over, he became Red X, and it was revealed that he's like a clone from Spiral, and Dick Grayson, the real Dick Grayson, has been working with Spiral or kidnapped by Spiral or something like that, so we can get Dick Grayson back and they can just explain away the heck out of this Rick Grayson character, and that maybe when the Bullet happened, that's when Spiral made their change and switched him out to this Rick Grayson because nobody likes him and I don't. Either way, I'm Kelly One Shot. I'm also excited and sad to announce that Comic Book Corps did close down shop, but I am officially on and fully a part of the Legion of Comic Books, so you can, like you always have, check out my Explore and Explain videos on that website, and now you'll also be able to see my written reviews there as well, so there's that. Either way, I'm Kelly One Shot. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye!